everybody. I hope you're all doing well. I'm making a message for all of us. And I was trying to wrap my head around what topic I would look into. What I'm gonna do is actually just relax. I'm gonna tap into our collective consciousness and see what masters of wisdom come forward, what messages they want to share with us, and let's just see what comes up, shall we? All right, here we go. Okay. It's very disorienting for starters. And I see our collective consciousness is sort of like in a whirlpool. So there's a lot of water that's circulating. It never really goes down a drain. It just keeps circulating, okay? And I'm having a hard time actually getting into the water itself. I'm just sort of projected back and looking down at this. And there's sort of an energy sphere that rests on top of this swirling water. But again, it's not like it's going down the drain. It's acting like it is going to go down a drain, but it never does. My guides are saying, well, why do you feel, Abby, that it looks like it's going to go down a drain? And I say, okay, so as human beings, we flush the toilet and it goes around and round and round until it disappears. And then when we have a bath and then we unplug it, right? The water goes down the drain, it goes around and around and around until it disappears. And so I see the water going around and around, and I can only assume from my own personal experience as a human being that it will go down something, right? What is inspiring it to go around? And my guides are showing me a galaxy. And they're saying it's going around and around. Is the galaxy going down a drain? I say, well, what about the black hole? Kind of. It's kind of going down a drain. I think so. Let me just think about this for a minute. Let me just experience this. We're going around and around. And the center of our galaxy is a black hole. Not the center of our solar system, our galaxy. And so it's circulating around and around and around. Our solar system is not going around down a drain, right? It's just going around and around and around. All right, let's see what they say next. So not everything that we perceive is as it is perceived, okay? So we perceive something, we feel like we know what that means. We can see it going around. I'm paralleling this to things that I've seen going around and disappearing down a drain. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the same. Doesn't necessarily mean it parallels properly, okay? So our assessment of things can be incorrect. Our assessment of things can be incorrect. We think we're onto it, but we're missing something, okay? And my guides say, how would I have known any different though? How would I actually have known any different? Because it was so immediate and so obvious to me that it must be going down a drain, but I could at least acknowledge it wasn't going down a drain. But I assume there must, something must be inspiring this. And so I'm trying to deduce, I'm trying to make sense of how would I have known any differently though? How would I have been able to think or perceive it differently in this scenario? They're taking me to our solar system, okay? We're going around the sun. And they're reminding me of, so my son has talked to me about how one day the sun will become a black hole. And the concept of our solar system not being what it appears to be today. And it's scary, right, to think about these things. Especially when you're at that age where you're like 8, 9, 10, you start to think about dying for the first time, It's pretty creepy. It's a creepy sensation. And so I'm seeing it as it is in the present. And we're going around and around the sun, and there's so much life to live here. There's so much life to live. And they're showing me in the gravitational pull, or there's so much energy involved in this process of rotating around the sun, and it's so powerful and so beautiful. And it's great. I mean, I can feel this, and it's like it's so abundant. It's so ridiculously abundant. This energy is so abundant. And it's there for us. This abundant energy is there for us. And it just keeps circulating and circulating and circulating and circulating and circulating and circulating. And it's not going down a drain. It's not going anywhere. It's just amplifying the sound of so much here for us. So much energy here for us. And so now they're paralleling this with seeing the water, and that water represents our collective, and it's not going down a drain. It's actually circulating, and there's so much energy here for us, for all of us here in our collective. And to see the abundance, not the death, but the rehabilitation, the revitalization, the abundance that is here. The abundance that is here. And don't be mistaken. Don't think this is flushing down a toilet. This is actually abundance happening. Abundance happening. Could we be mistaken then if we were to feel hopeless in the human race? There's a lot of hopelessness out there that we're ever going to overcome our struggles, our challenges, our nature. Is it really our nature? Whatever this influence is that is so self-destructive of ourselves, of each other, of our earth, right? Are we ever going to overcome that? Big question mark. And so there's hopelessness. We could say that our collective, our world is going down a drain. But my guides are saying, no, there's abundance. There is so much abundance here. And it's obvious. Like they're showing me that it's so obvious. Could we be mistaken? Could we be mistaken here? We're pretty sure we're going down a drain, but actually we're not. We're not going down a drain. We're circulating, and there is a lot of energy that is collecting and picking up, and there is abundance. And we are all to reap the reward of this abundance, of this circulation, of all that we've been through with each other, of all the hardships that inspire the challenges that inspire the world today. We've all earned a resurrection. We've all earned it. I mean, that's really what they're showing me. They're wanting me to explore the spherical energy that was resting on top of this circulating water, okay? And why is it hard for me to get into this? Initially, I feel like I want something that I can't have. I want to come closer to the circulation, and I just can't. And there's something in my way. Almost like it's inevitable that we would feel as though there's always something in our way. There just always is. Therefore, there always will be something in our way. And so when I translate this, that's what comes to me, okay? Is that there's something in my way. And it kind of reminds me of how we go through these life experiences, and there's always the next roadblock. And it's like nothing can just go from point A to point B. There's like thousands of points in between. And does it ever really reconcile anyway? So is there ever a point B? You know what I mean? So it just feels like that, okay? So they're wanting me to explore it even further. They want me to define the sphere, I personally, to define the sphere as a good thing or a bad thing. I tell them that I don't know enough yet to make that judgment call. I feel like the sphere represents things that we aren't aware of as of yet, things that we literally can't wrap our heads around. Comes back to the initial message where we see something circulating, we assume it's going down a drain, right? When it's not. It's just like the planets circulating around the sun. It's picking up energy. So it's a different perception that is actually more honest and more true to what's going on than the original one. So they're showing me that, and what I'm perceiving from this is that there's more to the sphere and it's a goodness, but I'm not there yet, or our collective isn't there yet, that we're not able to perceive it yet. We're just not there. We're just not there yet to perceive it. Therefore, we cannot interpret it. Therefore, our interpretation of it is based on everything that we have access to. So we're interpreting things based on what we're familiar with and not what we are unfamiliar with. Because if we're unfamiliar with it, then how are we to understand it or to know of it? If we are unfamiliar with it, how are we to know of it? Therefore, we're making interpretations based on things we already know, not based on things we don't know. So how are we to know things that we don't know yet? And they're really very positive about this message, to be open to being introduced to ideas that you've never come into familiarity with before. And to be excited about the energy that is revving up here, and the abundance energy that we all have access to is getting more saturated, is getting denser, is getting thicker, okay? It's a good thing. It's a really good thing. So what I do is I say, okay, I'm unfamiliar with the meaning of this sphere, therefore I can't judge it. I cannot judge it, okay? That which I am unfamiliar with, I cannot judge it. Therefore, I don't know. I don't know if I like it or I do not like it. I don't know. And if I don't know, then I can be okay with it as it is. I can just simply be okay with it as it is. And something of this response allows me to have more of a connection with it, because I'm not judging it. Allows me to have more connection with it, to learn more about it. To learn more about it. As I am brought into this sphere of energy, I continue to not judge it, and I just allow myself to be at peace with it and surrounded by it. And it is literally a blessing. The energy represents a blessing. If I were to judge it, I wouldn't really be able to access the blessing, that which it is, okay? And I feel it all around me. I feel it all around me. So we're a part of this together, so it's all around us, okay? It's all around us. Our whole planet even, like everybody in the world, whether they watch this video or not, they're part of this with me because we're part of each other, right? So we're all a part of this. And I feel I'm going through a major transformation. And it's like a download, so I don't have the means to understand it in my mind, but my body understands it. My blood, my being is interpreting it and working through energetic fluctuations in order to give me more access to the meaning of it. I am becoming the meaning of it. I'm becoming the meaning of it, not by thought, but by being. I am becoming the meaning of it, okay? And I absorb it entirely into myself. And it's now part of who I am. The meaning is part of who I am. The meaning that I don't understand it yet is now part of what I am, and I'm becoming it. I'm becoming this blessing, basically. Even if I can't understand it in thought, I am the blessing. Now I am the blessing, okay? And there's something quite beautiful about it, and there's a digestive event, so I feel it emotionally, and it's full of sunlight and warmth and just absolutely beautiful. It's breathtaking. I feel it as though then I'm the sun and the water's just circulating, and I'm the sun. And for a moment, I see time stop, and there's perfect stillness. And this moment, what would be like a second, is actually an eternity of stillness, and it is absolutely phenomenal. It's like if you could see in between time, you would see something so beautiful, it would be incomprehensible. But you would be it. You would be what exists in between time, and that is beautiful. It's so beautiful. And you know when you're in between time that things are still in motion, and that motion is beautiful. And to be in between time is beautiful, and that all things then are truly beautiful. Everything is. It's really nice. It's really nice to tap into a message like this, you know? It's oftentimes a little bit uncomfortable. This message was not uncomfortable. It was really nice. And it's giving me something to work with, because how often do we have situations in our life that it feels like the obvious in the domino effect of what's going to come next, even if maybe we don't know for sure, it's probably not going to be great or whatever, right? Because we're basing our ideas off of patterns, off of what we've experienced in the past. We're assuming it is going to be the same now in the present or the future. And they're wanting us to just acknowledge that we don't know. And when we acknowledge we don't know, we actually get to participate in the blessing. And then it will be revealed to us. But that there's so much goodness and there's so much abundant energy that is constantly in motion, and it's more than we could fathom. There's so much energy. It's unbelievable how much energy we have access to. And they're wanting to give us this as something to explore. How could that be? How might we tap into it? How might we work with it? How might we generate it? Like a Nikola Tesla type thing. I mean, it's more than that. It's manifesting. It's love. It's motion. It's time. It's life itself. It's incredible. All right, that's what I meant to share with all of us today. I'm really glad I got to do this. All right, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being a part of this experience with me. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.